Hello and welcome to today's LinkedIn Live event. I'm Namrata Kapoor from Corporate Communications at Maersk, and I'd like to welcome and thank you all for joining our panel discussion here today on inclusion and female leadership at Maersk. So let's start with a quick fact. Did you know that the logistics industry has a 32% to 68% female to male split? Here at Maersk, we pride ourselves on being an inclusive employer. And we're working very hard to change mindsets and industry norms. Today, we will hear from some of our women leaders who will share their experiences on navigating their career journeys at Maersk. Before we meet them, a quick reminder to you to keep your questions coming in, and we'll get to as many as we can. So let's dive straight in and meet our panelists today. We have Anna Wen Bijmerwet, Global Head of Talent Acquisition. We have Susanna de Vries Vosnaar, People Partner. We have Dominika Lang, Head of Landside Transportation Procurement for Germany, Austria, and Poland. We have Esra Gunduz, who's Area Head of Operations, Eastern Mediterranean Area. We have Andrea Ordudi, Hungary Sales and Country Manager. And we have Madeline Marshall, Area Head of Customer Implementation. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us today. Could I ask you to briefly introduce yourself? Let's start with you, Anna.
Thank you so much, Namrita, and super excited to meet you all today and have an engaging conversation. My name is Anna. I'm heading up the talent acquisition team in Maersk. That means that me and my team are responsible for recruiting new candidates into Maersk. And I have been with Maersk for the past 13 years. I'm based in the Netherlands. Thank you, Namrita.
Thank you, Anna. Andrea, let's hear from you.
Hi everyone, I'm Andra from Hungary. I'm based in Budapest. I joined Maersk in 2012 as trade and marketing, and then from 2016 I took up the role of Hungary sales and country manager, and since then I'm in this role.
Wonderful. Great to have you, Andrea. Dominika, can we hear from you?
Yeah, hello everybody. My name is Dominika, originally coming from Poland. I've been with the company for 17 years now. I had the opportunity to work in the different departments, and currently I'm heading the procurement team responsible for buying landside transport services in Germany, Austria, and Poland.
Wonderful. Esra, can we hear from you?
Yes, Namrita, thank you very much for the invite as well. I'm super looking forward to the event today. I'm the area operations manager based in Istanbul. Istanbul is the headquarters of Eastern Mediterranean area, which consists of other 17 countries in the organization. We take care of inland, full and less container load operations, including all those daily actual operations, as well as the financial controls of these operations as a part of the European network. I'm in the company for the last 23 years. Thank you.
Lovely. Esra, Madeline, can we hear from you?
Hi, everyone. Super nice to be here with this great group today. My name is Madeline. I'm the area head of customer implementation for our area, Central South Europe. So we onboard our more integrated customer solutions, my team. I'm based in Genoa, Italy, but I'm originally from Canada, and I've been with Maersk for 6.5 years.
Thank you, Madeline. And last but not the least, Susanna, can we have you?
Yes, hi everyone. Very excited to be here today. My name is Susanna. I've been with the company for 11 years, working in the Netherlands as a people partner for sales and product organization within our amazing company. And really looking forward to this event today.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to an enriching discussion with all of you. So let's begin and let's start with the first question here. We know the challenges of daily life can be demanding. How does Maersk support you in balancing both your professional and personal life? I'd like to get your take, Andrea, followed by Susanna.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for this great question. And I wish to have a one size fits all answer, but I think it's very difficult to have a perfect work-life balance because we are very different as individuals. But also, I think we have different perspective towards the words. But at least from my side, I'm trying to be and strive for realistic work-life balance. What I mean here that There are days and there are certain periods when I am more busy and I have to more focus on my work because there is more things to do. But I'm happy when I have the opportunity and I can other days I can spend more time with my family, with my hobbies, take more time for sports, which also helps me to release the stress and make sure that I'm avoiding burnout, which I think it can happen from time to time, especially when you are very busy with your work life. And there are certain periods when I believe that it's really worth to unplug and switch off to make sure that we can recharge our batteries. From company point of view, I think we are working for a great company which really support work-life balance, which also encourage employees to set boundaries. And it's I think it's fair to say no when you are just tired and you cannot take more responsibility or more task on your daily life. But it's also something that I believe it's not a luxury. I mean, to have a work-life balance, but it's very important for long-term success, for overall well-being, and it also contributes to great job satisfaction. So
Thank
I
you,
think
Andrea.
it's really important to have.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
can relate to a lot of what you said, right? Switch off and recharge and keep it realistic with all stakeholders. Susanna, let's hear from you.
Yeah, thank you so much. For me personally, a healthy work-life balance is very, very important, especially with two young kids and almost working full time. I feel that one of the most important things here is the leader that you have. I'm very lucky to have a very supportive leader who's always there for me. And from time to time, she also needs to say, no, you're not going to take that 7 p.m. call. But she always makes me feel that my health and my family's health are number one, and gives my team also the support to prioritize that. And also in Maersk, all leaders are supported by a people partner like myself. And I feel that my role is very important in advising and coaching my leaders on topics like this, helping them to find the right tools for them to support their teams.
Thank you. I think you covered some of the aspects that we see going really well for colleagues in Musk. Maybe can I invite you, Anna, to the next question? What are your perspectives? How do you think Musk fosters an inclusive environment where one feels equipped, supported, and empowered to grow? What are your reflections on this?
Yeah, I think it's a bit in line or continuing also on what Susanna mentioned on having great leaders and having leaders that actually support your development and really sponsor you. And what I mean with sponsoring is that you have conversations about your career, about how you want to grow, where you want to grow, but also make sure that they give you challenging assignments, that they do bring your name up for the next position. If I look at myself, I've been with the company for 13 years. I've had 7 roles. I counted it this morning to know the exact number. 7 roles, and I've been working in 3 different companies. So I think, and when you just heard everyone introducing themselves and the lengths we all are with the company, I think it's actually a testimony to the job changes and the growth that is possible in the company because of like the length and the positions that we've had. So I think a lot is in leadership. There's also formal support programs. So we have programs specifically for leaders, for women in leadership on more junior and more senior levels. So it's that combination of actual learning and then development and support from leaders and the sponsorship.
Echo that. Madeline, do you have a different take on this?
Yeah, I mean, I think somewhat similar to what Anna said too. When I hear supported and empowered, what I think of is mentorship. And throughout my career at Maersk, I've been really lucky to have found and have been partnered with different mentors throughout the year. And as a female and as a young leader, this has really helped me accelerate my own development and be able to keep up with a fast pace moving ahead too. I do have to say that having been a mentor and a mentee in the past, mentorship isn't something that's just given out. You have to have the right mindset. You have to be able to take initiative, and you have to be open and able to take feedback in order to grow as well. But if you can do these things, then it really opens up a world of possibilities. I think my experience with my mentors in the past is that They've been kind of a sounding board and a guidance to overcome challenges that I face as an individual and as a leader. They also are a champion for your development. So there's someone kind of outside of your day to day that sees you maybe even in a different light and can champion you and challenge you in your development progress as well. And maybe most importantly, they challenge your development path as well. I think it's incredible to have these relationships and to have someone that sees potential that you might not see yourself and pushes you to dream bigger and have bigger goals that you didn't think were possible. I mean, it really opens up a whole new world for you. So I think, I mean, through development or through mentorship, I've been able to improve my skills. I've been able to accelerate my own career path in many ways. And I've really been able to improve my confidence and overcome insecurity so that I feel more confident and more comfortable in different rooms that I'm a part of. And I think mentorship is maybe a more informal way, but there's lots of mentorship opportunities within Maersk if you're looking for it and if you're willing to take advantage of it too.
I love what you say about mentorship and having someone recognize and help you with your blind spots.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for those reflections. So, moving on to our next question, and I'd like to bring Esra and Dominica into the conversation here. So, what are some of the unique aspects of working here that makes Maersk a great place to work? What have you experienced? Let's start with you, Esra.
Okay, thank you, Namrita. Then I need to look at my past 23 years in the organization, right? And I thought about what resonates with me the most are, first of all, the company values. Our core values continue to guide us in everything we do, and these values, of course, create the supportive environment and the ethical environment that everyone needs in the workspace so that we can all feel valued and respected. That's, to me, the backbone of all to start with. There are always numerous opportunities for everyone to grow, also for women, for their professional development and growth. And if you're really up for it, I think Maersk is a good place where your career can flourish. But a second thing I can think and talk about is also that Maersk is not just any other logistics company. I don't feel that way. When I think about it, what I do every day, I'm inspired by the fact that it's a global connector, actually, that shapes the international trade overall and even the economies, right? And we are actually priding ourselves about that at Maersk, being the pioneers of our industry. And I find it quite inspiring because we are very much committed to innovation and digital transformation. I remember 23 years ago when I first joined the company, we were the first ones to introduce, online bookings to the entire sector and our customers. And since then, our journey is evolving right now with an integrated logistics service provider design, connecting everyone, starting from our customers to our suppliers. This actually also comes with a strong demand and effort from the employees, right? But this is what I feel is energizing me day in and day out, because we want to stay competitive and we want to stay ready to face new challenges. After all, I think I can also talk about that I'm feeling very confident of the company's commitment to reduce the environmental footprint of our industry, and that we have very ambitious goals around it. I find again super inspiring and be a part of. That's also creating a lot of dedication to creating a better world for everyone, and not only for the industry.
Yeah, I love how you brought our purpose into it, right? It's not just about the industry and us, it's about creating a better world as well. Dominica, what can you share with us?
Yeah, so I've been with Maersk for over 17 years now, so it cannot be bad. And why I'm on the opinion that Maersk is the great company, it's the first point and the most important is because of the people. So the people who build this organization, who creates the collaborative culture, because of the team members who support each other on the daily work, and because I have the true feeling, the sense of community. So that's what I love by this company. The second point is that my voice is being heard, and not only mine, but of everybody's. So you are empowered to make decisions and take initiative within your role. And it doesn't mean if it is the, let's say, dispatcher role or it's the manager role, you have the influence and drive the business outcomes effectively. So that gives for me personally, the unique sense of being important, of contributing to the company strategy. That is something that energizes me and motivates me. And the third point is that there are plenty of opportunities to develop and grow if you only want. And that simply, speaks to me. Within the group, I had the chance to gain experience in different areas. So I started with intermodal, then I did equipment, invoicing, cost control, procurement, vendor management, customer service, warehousing and distribution. And starting October 1st, I will be moving to product. So I also had the possibility to conduct various trainings, both online and in the classroom. And there is one special training I'm really thankful for. It is this one was designed only for women. It's called Strategies for Success. And I must say that actually boosted my career, and I'm very thankful for this amazing opportunity I've got from the company. And what I would like to add that people often say, people often say when I cannot reallocate, then my career opportunities or development opportunities are limited, and it's not the true, because I've always been based in Bremerhaven and in Bremen, and I got the opportunity to do so many amazing things.
What a lovely story, Dominica. And I can say I've been on Strategies for Success, that training myself, both as a participant many years ago
Mhm.
and as a speaker, as a facilitator. And I really think, it does a lot in elevating the leadership skills of our women at Maersk. I'd like to actually get one more person's perspective before we move on the same question. So let's get you, Susanna, into the conversation. Any thoughts to share?
Thank you so much. Yeah, as I've been mentioned, indeed, I've also been within the company for many years, 11. And yeah, as Maersk is a very big company, there are a lot of materials for employees. And for women, for example, we have a return to work policy that makes it easier for women to return after their maternity leave. Maersk created this policy as they noticed that globally quite some women stopped working after their leave. And with this policy, you will have a minimum of weeks that they can be on leave, women. And also, it's even possible that when you return, you can work less but get paid the same as you did before your leave. So there are quite some interesting things, and also echoing the strategy for success, which is great and very unique. You can have that because this is especially created for women that want to maximize their career potential and enhance their performance. And I did it a couple of years ago. I learned a lot about myself, but I also felt very much empowered after I finalized the program.
Well, thank you very much for that. So let's take a question coming in from someone who's live, Haruka Sumori. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. She's asking us, what would you say is advice you've received earlier in your career that still rings true in your current position? So basically, with the benefit of hindsight, what advice you have received that you would like to give your younger self looking to advance in your career and eventually take on leadership roles? Andrea, let's get your take on this.
Well, for sure. First of all, I would say to myself that don't put roof. So the sky is the limit, and we should be believing in ourselves. And we need to believe that we can break down the wall of impossibilities, because that's the most important things. We also need to understand that when we want to progress in career and in our life, we have to realize that we have the values, our story matters. We just need to be sure that we certain in ourselves. We don't need to change exactly. You can stay who you are. You don't need to change. Just we need to believe in ourselves and know where we are heading to. And we need to make sure that the environment, that the people around us, like you are in an industry, in a very male dominant industry, that it will not remove us from our journey. And of course, obviously, like in a work-life balance, there will be trade-offs, personal and professional, but we need to make sure that we are the one deciding on these trade-offs. So we will be owning our choice and our decision. And you may say that some people, when you are looking at top management, our principles, that they must have born on that place, but this is not the case. And I believe that everyone has the capabilities, the strengths and resilience. And as far as you're sure where you are heading to, you can achieve that and you can be there as well.
Indeed. I'd also like to get Madeline, your take on this. And while you answer that, there's also a question that's come in directly for you, Madeline from Patricia Delgado, who's asking whether is it important, you talked about mentorship, is it important to have a mentor within your organization, or can it be someone who is not in your organization as well?
That's a great question, and I think you can take it from a couple different perspectives. Because one, well, I think it's important to have diversity of opinions in general, and so if you can have someone who's a champion for you and guiding you that knows your business and know your situation, then that's extremely helpful. But I also think it's important to have an outside perspective, someone who can challenge you to see see the bigger picture and look at things differently as well. So I would say it's not one easy answer. I think it depends on your network within your own organization and what you need. If you need someone to really support and guide you through the specific situation, or if you maybe need someone a little bit outside and that can offer you a different perspective. So I think there's lots of opportunities for strong mentorships in both scenarios. Then going to the question, I think really in line with what Andrea said there. When I look back to my younger self, I think if I were to give some advice, it would be to be your authentic self and actually use that as a strength in your development. For myself, I think when I was younger and earlier in my career, and actually something that's very true to me now is I'm naturally very energetic, maybe even bubbly. I love connecting with people and I love connecting people. And so earlier in my career, it brought me into a lot of opportunities where I was in team facilitation roles. And it was great. I was naturally very strong in that. But I also saw that some of my colleagues were getting more opportunities that were in line with their role in their career development. And I had the thought and I had the feeling that I actually needed to push down these natural qualities and attributes about myself in order to get these opportunities to advance in my career. And it was a really difficult time because I was balancing being my authentic self while trying to achieve my goals. And then it was a couple of years later when I had a manager and he was really able to switch the narrative for me. And he looked at me, he said these qualities, your energy, your ability to connect with people, they're actually a strength in being an engaging leader, and it comes very naturally to you. And that's an amazing thing. Um, and so since then, I was able to actually use that in my leadership journey, and it's central to my leadership and my communication style and how I collaborate with people. And so I think it happens so often, especially to young professionals, especially to female professionals, that when we see leaders, we try to emulate what we think leadership should be up at the top instead of being true to ourselves. But actually, what makes you a more authentic and an even stronger leader is when you can use those unique qualities and you bring them forward. And in the end, that's also how we get diversity in senior leadership as well. So it's important for yourself, but it's important for the community too. So I think being an authentic leader and using that in your journey is so important.
Very well said there, Madeline. And you touch upon the point of being an authentic leader. You also mentioned of how a leader helps switch your perspective. And so maybe a broader question here, and let's start with Dominica. how can leaders contribute to the development and empowerment of women at the workplace?
Yes, so I can talk here from the own experience. Some time ago, I managed the customer service team, and I got a really great leader and manager. It was a female one, and this person actually showed me how to steer my career. So I've never been working before with the personal development plan before, so yeah, so strictly. And he showed that she showed me that that is the way I can go, and I can use for my advantage. So at the beginning, it was a little bit a struggle how to start with that. But there was no push. But he helped me to realize that actually I'm in the driving seat, so nobody is going to do anything for me. And what I thought the most challenging about the personal development plan was to realize what I want to achieve, where I want to go. So when I managed to answer these questions, that finally everything appeared clear. Then I started to reflecting on myself, and I think it's the very, very important part, because your strengths and maybe your success is not coming from doing what you've always been doing and what you are good at, but to challenging yourself and challenging your status quo. Um, Asking for the feedback as well, and especially for the constructive one, because when we also reflect, we have the feeling we know each other, we know what we are good at, and what we are missing. But this outside perspective helps a lot. So that was, I would say, the best manager, female manager I had, who triggered also my career. And as I took this experience with me, that is what I'm also now trying to live as a leader. I'm also encouraging everybody, not only females but also male members of my team, to start working on the personal development plan. But especially I encourage women, because it happens that women are afraid of change, and I try to underline that change is the new beginning. Yeah, so just do it. I must say, I love this Nike slogan, and don't wait for tomorrow, because yesterday you said tomorrow. Simply do it, because don't wait for the better times, for the better opportunities. Yeah,
Some
that's
great
what
nuggets
I
of
could say.
wisdom there, Dominica. Anna, I'd like to also hear your take on this, and maybe also share. Now, you are a leader here at Maersk as well. So, of course, one aspect is how have leaders helped you, but also what are you doing here at Maersk to help others as a senior leader?
Thank you so much. Yeah, and I think actually, Dominica just mentioned a lot of the different aspects already. I think personal development and leaders that help you develop and help you think about what are your goals, what are your ambitions, are super important. And then also to link that to the job, because we all have a lot of day-to-day responsibilities. And when you think about your own development, you can actually link that and you can influence some of the things that you work on to not only deliver for the business, but then also very much work on your own development. So that's one thing that I have seen from great leaders, but also that I'm trying to do with my team, and also a little bit linked to Dominica's, like the dream big thing, right? So normally I always make sure that anything is to be discussed. And what I mean with that is that sometimes there's a lot of myths out there. So sometimes people are afraid to say to the manager, I actually would like your job in the future. Or they are afraid to say to their manager, I actually would like to move out of talent acquisition. In my case, because I'm leading talent acquisition, I would like to move to a different team. And I think making sure that they're not held back by either their own beliefs or by the beliefs they think the leader might have, and having that open conversation, I think that's a super important element. And wider, the other thing I think that we can do as senior leaders is, again, it all comes back to lead by example, but it's also back to the beginning on the flexibility. Of course, the jobs are sometimes busy and you cannot control every day necessarily how it goes, but you do have in the longer term a lot of flexibility at Maersk in how you design work-life balance, for example. And that does mean, in my case, what I've gotten from great leaders, me having two kids myself, is actually to say it's okay Friday that you log off at 3 because you want to pick up your kids from school, or you go reading in the classroom early morning and you start a little bit later. So I've seen that myself, and it's very much also that something that I'm taking forward to my team. So it makes it, if you want to be a leader, it doesn't mean that you need to work nonstop, or it doesn't mean that you need to be from every day from the same times in the office or available. You still very much have flexibility to design it as you like, as it fits you as well.
Very well said, Anna, and I can totally relate to the flexibility aspect of it, right? So we have quite some questions coming in. So let's dive straight into this question from Jose Santiago. And Jose is asking, why take on leadership roles with their demands, and how does the organization support you actively? So, for example, Andrea mentioned boundaries and able to say no. He'd like to understand more. And the second he'd like to understand is, how are women supporting other women in reaching leadership roles? I'd like to get your take on this, Andrea.
Well, I think it's important to set boundaries, and when I'm talking about that part, it can start from a simple part that you like stop working at 3 and you go and pick up your kids, or you just decide that okay, today I'm just simply tired and I cannot take more, so I'm just unplugging myself. I'm shutting the work off completely, and I need to recharge my batteries. And I had personally a case when I was so overwhelmed with other tasks and projects that my manager came and he asked me to take another one, and I told him very openly, look, if I need to take it, then I need to drop something else. And it was perfectly fine because we had a lot of talented team members, and we just turned it to someone else, and actually it worked out super well. And I was proud of that person that he was ready to take some more responsibilities and move on with the task. So yeah, this is about the boundaries.
Thank you, Andrea. Would you also like to comment on the other part of the question that was about how are women supporting women in Maersk? Do we have specific networks that we can talk about?
Yeah, I think we already mentioned about strategy for success. I think it was a great session, and I'm also encouraging my team members to take part on that, because I think we can learn a lot from that, and there is also like possibility of networking. I still have some ladies from the session that I have contact with, and we are catching up and we are sharing our experience, which I think it's a great addition. And I'm a person that who likes to travel, who likes to communicate with other people, connect, and I've been in within Maersk organization. I've been already in 3 areas, but I still keep contact with some of my former colleagues, and I think it's super important that we can encourage ourselves. We can discuss daily topics. We can ask for advice, and we can move on with that. And I have an open door policy, so it's not related only to my direct reports. So whoever in the office or from other organization, or even within my friends, if someone is coming to me and asking questions, then I'm there to give advice and support them. So I think that's very important, to have open communication, to have collaboration, and yeah, to celebrate our small successes.
Fantastic. All right, I'm going to go to the next question from Gunjan Singh. What are the kind of support systems in place to tap into the expat spouse pool of talent that the Maersk community has? Gunjan goes on to say that it would be great to have networking sessions exclusively for the Maersk spouses in various locations across the globe. So, Susanna, do you have any thoughts on this?
Well, that's a very interesting one. We should have that indeed. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, what could be? Yeah, no, yeah, maybe Anna can give a comment on that one.
Let's go to you, Anna.
Yes, I think we don't have specifically designed spouse programs, right? We just don't have that, even though it's a super important element, and we do recognize that more and more. Also, it's two partners having a good job, and you're moving two careers, right? You're not moving just one. What we do within talent acquisition is that often when we know, or we do know when people are moving, that we do actually have from a talent acquisition team, so from a recruiter perspective, there is a conversation with the partner if they're interested in that, and then we try to help them and match them to opportunities. So we don't as much have globally a spouse program as such, but we make sure that partners are connected with the recruitment team to see what kind of opportunities there are. And then in the separate countries, I do know there is sometimes networking happening, and groups, more informal groups, where partners find each other and they have conversations around also finding their own career in the country where the partner is moving to.
Thank you for that clarity, Anna. And please keep your questions coming in. We can see that you're sending us a lot of questions. Keep them coming in. We'll get to as many as we can. I'm going to take the next question from Rachel. What advice would you provide as a female in a male dominated industry in how to get into leadership, especially sometimes if you do not resonate with existing leaders in the business? I'd like to get your take on this, Esra.
Yeah, Namrita, thank you very much for the question. Can I please hear the second part again, since I did not hear it very
Yes.
clearly?
So the second part is around, if they don't resonate with the existing leaders, how do they push boundaries and move on?
Yeah, first of all, as some of my friends already commented on that, I think it first of all starts with knowing your boundaries or non-boundaries. As such, it's about knowing your real potential and understanding your strengths and be a part of the general agenda of the company. So do not just look into your day-to-day existence in the company, but try to be a part of the impact that the company is trying to create and make sure that your voice is heard. That's why I think once my friends talked about creating that inclusive environment and that we should ensure everyone's voice is heard and valued. That's why we are valuing that a lot at Maersk, so that people actually find that safe space for open dialogues where not only women but everyone feel comfortable sharing their experiences, needs, ideas, and challenges, and so that they can move forward, right? So what we always foster for women especially is to first of all know their strengths, acknowledge their potential, just not only acknowledge what they are told but what they believe, and then if they can also get some mentorship and even sponsorship from the other leaders on the organization where they advocate for their advancement and visibility, that will certainly help them to flourish.
Thank you, Esra. Madeline, I'd like to get your take on this as well. What advice would you provide as a female in a male dominated industry, and how do you further progress your career into leadership roles?
Yeah, I think I really resonate with what Ezra said. And going back to my point earlier on mentorship, I think this is extremely important. If you don't have someone directly above you to give you guidance and build you into those leadership roles, then mentorship outside of that circle is extremely important to build the skills, build your development, and build your confidence along that path as well. So mentorship and, like Ezra said, sponsorship is extremely important there. But in terms of advice, I think the number one piece of advice I would say is don't say no to yourself. I think very often maybe we see this group of leaders and we think, I don't fit in with them. It's not the right group for me. I won't be successful in that group. Don't say no to yourself. Like we've shared a few of us already, a lot of the time others see potential in us that we don't see in ourselves. So go for it. At least give it your best shot. And if it doesn't work out, at least you tried. I mean, let others say no to you. Never say no to yourself for those higher opportunities. It's super important. And I think that combined with mentorship opens up a lot of opportunities in your career path, especially when you might see challenges or roadblocks along the way.
I like what you said about don't hold yourself back. That is indeed something that a trap that we could all fall into from time to time. All right, let's go to the next question. And here I'd like to get your take, Susanna. So, is there a return back to work policy for women leaders who take maternity sabbatical and resume back to profession?
Yes, there is a very nice return to work. I already said it before, indeed. So there's a great program, and it's especially created by Maersk, as they found out that a lot of women leaders, but also regular employees, were not returning into their roles or their jobs after their maternity leave. So they decided, like, okay, let's get a program in place where you can just generally start working, let's say, in less hours, but on the same salary as you did before your maternity leave. And there are really like a lot of guidance here. There's even that Maersk, I'm now, of course, referring, for example, to the Netherlands, but Maersk has a minimum of 18 weeks maternity leave that you can have while working here. In the Netherlands, according to the law, it's only 16 weeks, let's say, a fixed maternity leave. So there's even some opportunities to even have a longer leave here. So that's very interesting also for women to work for Maersk, especially when you turn for your maternity leave. You can just do it in sort of phases and steps, so you can really go back to the workflow again while being still in a lot of diapers and sleepless nights when you need to start again after your maternity leave. And so that's my 2 cents on this one.
Thank you. And it is indeed such a critical time in one's life where you also go through so many changes. So it's great to have that support system and network in place. All right, let's move on to the next question from our viewers. And this is going back to something you mentioned, Esra, on identifying your strengths. So I'd like to get both yours and Dominica's take on this question. Have you got any recommendations for identifying your strengths? How do you go about this process of self-awareness? Let's begin with you, Esra, and then Dominica.
Thank you very much, Namrita. I hope you can hear me well. Yes, I did get some advices about it, and the most impactful advice that I got about finding out my strengths was being authentic and exploring myself and spending the right time to explore myself and my strengths about my career journey. So when I got that very impactful advice, it was I think 7-8 years ago, where I believed more that the leadership is about prototypes, which was not the case. When I've been given that advice, I started to look deeper into myself to really get to see through me. And for that, I actually joined an executive coaching program where, to me, the journey mattered the most, because one backbone of the program was about really understanding who you are and building up on that, and that resonated to me quite well. Then I was able to come up with my strengths, my weaknesses, without feeling shy about either of them, right? So I was happy to explore them in one place. And as I continued working on building up on my development areas, I was also as eager to work on my strengths so I could shine with them.
Thank you, Esra. Dominica, what about your perspectives?
Yeah, I can resonate with what Ezra said, that the best way to recognize what are your strengths and areas to development, it's simply learning by doing. So try out different things, engage in different products and initiatives, and then you will see if that's what you like, and you will see also your results. But that's from my perspective, that's the one side of the coin. The another one is that we are not always very objective with ourselves. So for me, very important is to regularly ask for the feedback. And I'm asking my peers, I'm asking my team members, and the other people I'm working with. That was important for me to see how the people perceive me. and that gives you the very powerful tool. Yeah, so then of course you need to spend some time reflecting on that, because some things you maybe don't like when you get some constructive feedback. Yeah, but that's in my eyes the way to go.
Thank you, Dominica. So I'd like to get the next question up here from Antoinette. As a mother raising her daughter to be successful, what advice would you give her as she's studying to enter the world of logistics? And I'd love to hear your take on this.
Thank you. I think it's very much a lot of the things that have been said, I would say, and especially also what Madeleine talked about is like not limiting yourself, right? So making sure that you're not the one that say no to yourself, and then find an inspiring environment as well, right? So I think find that support group and find that those friends or find that company that will support. And I think that is very much something that I've had in Maersk, is that whatever job I had, or through the many years that I've been in the company, and one of my colleagues said it before as well. We have those friends and we have those people that we're still be in touch with, and that you're very, and often for me, they have been women where I can have very honest conversation about how do I go about that promotion, how do I make sure that my voice is being heard, how do I have this difficult conversation about my salary. So things that are sensitive, and having that network around you to kind of prepare you for that, and really supporting each other as women, and finding your space in that, I think would be for me would be a key advice.
Super, thanks, Hannah. I'd like to get in Andrea for the next question. So Eva is writing to us that it has been highlighted during this call that sponsorship and supportive leadership is key. There are, however, many working environments where this is not the case. And Eva wants to know if you have ever faced a situation where this has been the case, and what has been your driver or trigger for decision making. Let's hear from you, Andrea.
Well, I think I'm in a lucky situation because I'm working for this industry more than 23 years, and I always have very supportive leaders and managers who help me through this journey. But the good thing is that I have a very knowledgeable brother. So when I stuck in my career, or I had some challenges, concerns, or I had to discuss it with someone, that I managed to approach him. So I think it's very important to not exclusively concentrate on your work environment, but to find those people around you, be it a family member or friend, or some mentor outside of the corporate world, who can give you some good advice, and you can talk about openly. You can talk with him, her openly about your challenges, your difficulties. You can share your thoughts, and also I believe that self-reflection is something that working on our strengths, see where we can develop. Get some books, watch some TED talks. It can be also very beneficial, in my view.
Thank you for that, Andrea. One really interesting question coming in, and I'd love for Susanna to answer this. So, we speak a lot about the gender diversity and inclusion. What about age discrimination? Is Maersk doing any measures towards not having any age discrimination in our recruitment process? Do we also look for talent among the older women, for example?
I can tell you've been in HR for 11 years within Maersk, and this is something that no, everyone is very, very welcome in Maersk. And I want to talk about, let's say, my scope in NEC. That's a part of Europe. Then you see, yeah, doesn't matter, old, young, whatever, from which, yeah, there that doesn't matter, because also I personally feel that we need also those very experienced employees on our side, because you really see in logistics, especially, that there's a lot of knowledge in our older generation compared to the younger generation. They really understand the business very well. Now, like I said, been within my 11 years in Maersk. That is not even a thing, indeed. And everyone is, yeah, there are people working here from old to young, all ages. So yeah.
Thank you for that, Susanna. And like we have a very inclusive environment, Zubair also wants to know what does it take then to become successful in such a company? Madeline, I'd love to get your takes. What behavior do you think is key?
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of diverse roles within Maersk. So there's a lot of diversity. It's not that you can pin it down to certain attributes, but I think across the board, one, being able to take initiative. If you want to grow in your career, it's not going to be handed to you. You have to own that and you have to drive that. So being able to take initiative, being proactive, having a high sense of ownership, those are all key in career growth. Two, we're a global company. We're built on people. We have around 100,000 employees globally. And so you have to be able to communicate and connect with people to be successful. Like I said earlier, mentorship being so important. A lot of the time, there's when you're growing in your career, it's a lot about skills and performance, but it's also about your network. So those go hand in hand. You have to be a performer, but you also have to build a network globally. And that's the great part about being a global organization is there's actually no barriers to connecting with people internationally. So it actually is quite easy to one, work with people internationally on the regular, but then connect with people as well and form those personal relationships. And together, that helps your career growth. I mean, if you have that network, you have the skills, and then you have the drive and the ownership to take it forward, that's how you're going to be successful.
Thank you for those tips, Madeline. I'm going to squeeze in one last question here for Anna and Esra. So we've talked a lot about, the environment at Maersk and the leadership, sponsorship, mentorship. If someone out there is super interested in saying, I want to work for a company like Maersk, as hiring managers, as leaders, what do you look for in candidates applying? What is absolutely critical for you in identifying and rolling out an offer to someone? So let's start with you, Anna, and then Esra.
Yeah. I think if I and again every job is different, of course, so the requirements are also different, but there is two things that I always look for. The first one is self-reflection, so the ability to actually be honest about the good and the not so good, so the strength and the development opportunities. And actually the ability is a question I often ask when I'm interviewing for my team, is like, when is the last thing that didn't go so well and what did you learn from it? And it's not really about what didn't go so well, because we all make mistakes, and I think we have very much have a culture where we also are very okay with that we do have that we do learn, and not always goes right, and that's also how we learn, right? But the ability to actually reflect on that and then say and talk about how you came out of that stronger and how you will bring that forward, for me that's something super important, because self-reflection is about how can you adapt and how can you keep developing yourself. The second one, and it's very much linked to what Madeleine has just talked about, and being a very international environment, it is for me around collaboration and teamwork. So how sensitive are you to the different cultures? How okay are you with reaching out to many different people, and how much do you understand that at the end of the day it's about the success of Maersk in this case and the success of the team? It's not about your own individual success. That's not what we're here for. So for me, self-reflection and development and collaboration are the two things I always look for when I'm hiring into my team.
Thank you, Anna. Can we hear from you, Esra?
Yes, thank you. I can, of course, echo a lot what Anna has just put in, but I can also say that there are, as of now, we won a lot of job opportunities at maersk.com careers page, and I encourage everyone to have a look at there to see the variety of the jobs, which also tell us that we need, different people for different jobs, but we value individuals who are open-minded and who appreciate those diverse perspectives and interactions for all of these jobs, no matter what. We want people who can confidently express their ideas, be themselves, and who can collaborate and effectively interact within, not only their teams but also cross-border teams. At Maersk, we always embrace the change, and I think we need individuals going further who can really thrive in those dynamic environments with change. So I strongly suggest that you make a quick check on how fast you can adapt to new things around you, new processes, new conditions, new tools, everything, right? And on the last note, the teamwork and collaborations matter the most. That is how we become successful at Maersk, and we look for candidates who can really collaborate across the functions, even geographies, engage with their stakeholders effectively, and who are able to build, first of all, strong relationship as a person, because at the end of the day, Maersk's most valuable asset is people, as we say.
Thank you very much. That's all the time we had for today. I'd like to thank all our panelists for generously sharing your candid reflections and insights. And thank you to all our viewers joining us today. We hope you learned something new from all our inspirational leaders here. As Esra said, at Maersk, we're a global company. And if you're interested in joining us, we are hiring globally. And all our vacancies can be found on our careers page at maersk.com. So do go and have a look. And we wish you all the very best. Thank you and have a great rest of the day.